He was like, whoa, you're way taller than I expected. He's like, I was expecting you to be like 5'4". And I'm like, yeah, I know. Thank you. Everybody's always lying about me. So
they're lying about you.
Thanks.
You're not 5'4". You're 5'6".
You're 2 inches taller than I thought.
And red pilled me. I remember when I first.
Listen to that statement. Bring it back 5 seconds. He just said that Beardson was the one to red pill him. That he was completely ignorant politically before Beardson came along and red pilled him. And he's going to talk about how he used to look up to Beardson as a hero and how Beardson is a legend.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, I know. Thank you. Everybody's always lying about me. So, thanks. Beardson red-pilled me. I remember when I first talked to Beardson, I was starstruck. Now it's like, whatever. No, I love Beardson, but I remember when I was like a junior, senior in high school, and I would follow Beardson and Paul Town. Like, those guys are still legends to me, too. Those guys are still legends in my eyes as well. And I remember seeing Paul Town and Beardson calling each other files and respawning constantly, and they did the content Emmys with Sam Hyde, and I was like, oh my gosh. I remember being on the Weekly Sweat for the first time and being like, Mom, Dad, I was on the Weekly Sweat. I got to talk to Paul Town and Beardson.
Can you fucking imagine telling your mom and dad, Mom, Dad, I got to talk to Beardson, the groomer, today. He says that I'm going to be a big deal in politics, Mom and Dad. This is what... Now people wonder, like, why does Beardson have so much influence in the movement? Why is he able to just... Anybody serious politically, he's able to torpedo them and fuck them up. It's because Nick looks up to Beardson as his daddy. As his E-daddy. As his daddy Jim, as his god. The code is being cracked. It's being deciphered, folks. It's fucking insane.
Dude, the statement, though. He's like, I used to look up to them when Beardson and Paulta would call each other files.
Yeah. When they would call each other files, I thought that was so awesome.
Kai Schwemmer says the AF frat hazing culture is real. Beardson, Nick, and Jaden in the call. New heads beware. You know, I mean, I'll give people a hard time, but Beardson really goes in, man. Beardson really goes in. This guy's just unrelenting. But you know what? He has a tendency to be able to... He's kind of like a filter. Because the people that can't take the Beardson bants, it doesn't really work out well for them. The people that can become very successful. So...
Oh!
So folks, if you're thinking of joining America First, realize that the filter, the judge of your success, your political aptitude in the movement, is a 5-foot even, drunken hobbit from Kentucky. And that he will decide if you will be successful or not, if you will go on to make money and have fame or success. Just realize that you have to literally get on your knees, prostrate yourself to Beardson the Hobbit, kiss his dwarven hairy feet every fucking day for the rest of your life, or else you won't be successful. That's what Nick said. And then we wonder why the movement is so...
And Beardson's not respectable. Like, he would work as a gaming streamer on Twitch who doesn't say the F slur or the N word, right? Like, maybe. Like, that's his level of whatever, creativity. He has no, like, oh God, this is amazing. But now you to be part of a political movement that's going to take over and save the white race, you have to be his pal, or else.
Yeah, you have to make sure you include Beardson in your Batman tweet. You have to be sure that you never disrespect Beardson in any way. You got to get his interview out first. You have to cater to Beardson because this Mexican child somehow looks up to Beardson as his father figure in life.
Fucking magic. This is magic.
Definitely something to that.
Like in the worst possible way.
You know what I love about these guys is he's a good sport. It's such a
You know what I love about these guys? They just they eat it and they like it. They let meat in their mouths. They let beards in their mouths. That's what I like about my new groypers. And Alton. That's what he's saying. Like, it's psychotic. Let's just play it.
What I love about Kai, I mean, people give him a lot of, But he really is a good guy. He really is a smart and talented and a good guy. And I'm so glad he's on our side. And, you know, people bust his balls, but he's just such a good sport, and that's such a good trait. I feel like all the new guys have it, especially Wurzelroot, you know, another new guy. Really, he takes it on the chin. Same with Dalton.
Takes my balls to his chin.
Wow, I love him. There are get the shit on them and disrespect them, you know, stream over them and then bash them on other streams. They're awesome. Great guys. What the
and the others. Veda too. Veda gets a lot of shit. And, you know, and they roll with it. That's such an important trait. So we love you,
so
Guy.
Important to roll around in my and love the smell. You just love my.
Who do you think's worse, Nick and Beardson for being pieces of shit like this, or them for taking it? Like, who's worse?
Well,
like, really,
I mean, it's them.
Yeah.
It's them for like accepting it and being so desperate. You know, like there's other paths to being in In fact, every other path in politics is probably preferable. You know, like even going and getting a Rhino coffee, you know, and campaigning for Trump would be better than this.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
Buddy. Modern Monarchist says, yeah, Beardson is the guard dog of the movement. He sniffs you out and chews you out to see if you are a CWC or Casey.
Whoa.
Wouldn't want the movement without him. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He's the CEO, the guard dog. We love him. You were not part of the meme war, okay? I'm a real and a true meme war.
So Beardson's the guard dog of the movement. He's the CEO of the movement. The number 2 in command. Nick has solidified his position as being, you know, the guy who decides who advances and who doesn't. But remember, the ceiling is always Beardson above you. And Nick worships him as his dad. There's really no chance of performing a coup on Beardson unless you can convince Nick that Beardson is going to turn on him and stop licking his toes. And Nick just loves this. He loves that his former internet daddy, Beardson, is subservient to him, has to kiss his has to do his mannerisms and emulate him now. And it just strokes Nick so hard. But here he's going on a rant, too, about how all the new guys on Cozy, they're nowhere near as good as him and Beardson because they were in the great meme war of 2016, don't you know? They were in the meme war. They served. Where were you during Gamergate Private? Where were you?
Oh.
Veteran, okay? I was there on the front lines. I was on the campaign. I wrote my blog. I was on Twitter. I was at the Content Emmys. I was on the Weekly Sweat. I fought the optics war. I fought for my home.
Oh, so much cringe in like 1 second there.
Okay? I'm like the proverbial like infant, and his whole town was razed to the ground by the enemy, and then I grow up with like a vendetta, you know, to restore my homeland.